How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Infinite Sports. I'm your host, Kenneth Grunfelder, with my instant reaction. It's been about an hour and a half, 2 hours since the game ended. Game one of the wild card series between the Yankees and the Red Sox. And you're probably thinking, where are you? Why is the camera quality all screwed up? What's going on? So I wanted to give you my instant reaction because I just while everything is fresh in my brain, and I was too lazy to go upstairs and get the my video camera and my mic. Luckily, there's a USB mic down here in my basement of my house, so I just figured, you know what, I'm gonna go here where my desk is, where I work, and give you my thoughts on what transpired last night. So behind me, you see some Yankee pictures, you see some Rocky pictures, you see a snake tank, my brother's gaming chair. So this is a different location. But I wanted to give you my instant reaction, like I said, because while everything is fresh in my brain. So I promise that for the next video, unless I do an instant reaction tomorrow, we'll have everything like it is normally. But yeah, it was a tough night. If you were rooting for the Yankees, it was a very tough night. They lose game one by a final score of 3-1. Now, is it shocking? Is it surprising? This is the kind of loss. This is the kind of playoff loss that, from watching the Yankees for years, I'm kind of used to it. I'm kind of used to a loss like this. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt when you see a game like this. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. And also, it's just, if the Yankees end up losing tomorrow, it'll be better for my well-being, my health. Because watching these games, it really stresses you out. And I don't like it. I just don't like how my body reacts to this kind of stress. So I'm perfectly okay. No, I'm not really, but part of me will be okay if the season ends tomorrow, because I can't do this. I can't do, when I get to a certain age, there's gonna be a point, like my mom does it. She just turns off the game because of what it does to her. I can't do it. But I still got a long time before I get to that point. But I just that's besides the point. This game, we've seen this song and dance before. Yankees lose a tight, closely contested game, which is what I told you it was going to be. I think many people said it was going to be a closely contested game all night. They don't hit, they don't get the big hit, and what happens? Becomes the battle of the, well, really it wasn't the battle of the bullpens. Yankees used, what, 4 relievers tonight? Red Sox only used 1, and it was Chapman. That was it. Actually, no. I'm wrong. They used 5 relievers. I forgot Tim Hill came in at the end of the 9th inning. But this is the kind of game you've seen the Yankees lose plenty of times in the past. Now, this was if you didn't have a dog in the fight, this was a great baseball game to watch. Watching 2 pitchers, 2 Cy Young candidates go at it, 2 left-handed pitchers just going tit for tat. That's what baseball's all about. And that's what baseball needs to realize. Like, hey, you still need to have starting pitchers like that. You can't just completely shy away from that. You need to have pitchers that give you length. Because it makes it special. Like, this goes back years. Baseball's been around for a long time. And we're slowly but surely leaving that era where managers are so quick to go to the bullpens. And we saw one manager do it tonight, and it wasn't the Red Sox manager. It was not the Red Sox manager. But both pitchers were great tonight. Especially the winning pitcher, Garrett Crochet. Once again, completely shuts the Yankees down. Goes into the 8th inning. 7 2/3 innings pitched. Throws a season high, I think a career high, not even just a season high, 117 pitches. He was awesome tonight. 11 strikeouts, didn't walk a single batter. I mean, there was a point where, I mean, after the Volpe homer, which we'll get into, I mean, what did he retire? The next 17 batters? I mean, the Yankees didn't get another hit after the Volpe homer until, I think, what was it? Volpe in the 7th inning? No, Volpe in the 8th inning. Yeah, Volpe in the 8th inning. So, from the time that Volpe hit the home run in the bottom of the 2nd inning, Yankees went the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. They went 5 straight innings without getting a hit. Not getting a base runner. Nothing. And they had a missed opportunity. I mean, they had several missed opportunities tonight. The 1st inning and the 9th inning. 1st inning, Goldschmidt gets on base. Leads off with a single. Aaron Judge comes up. We talked about it a lot. How he needs to have a big postseason. And then he gets a hit. He gets a single. So now you got a couple guys on base. Then Bellinger strikes out. And then here comes Stanton. We know how Stanton loves to hit in October. Well, here's the thing. It's not October yet, as I'm recording this. It's 11:15 on the East Coast. It's not October yet. Calendar flips tomorrow. So maybe we'll get to see October Stanton. But that's whatever. Stanton, unfortunately, hits into a double play. Giancarlo Stanton had a rough night. Grounded into the double play. Struck out a couple times. He was 0 for 4. Not the performance from Stanton that we were hoping for. Again, if you were a Yankee fan, obviously. And, as you can see in the background. But once that happened, immediately you think to yourself, yeah, that's going to come back to bite him. But yeah, then Max Fried, he pitches a scoreless top of the 1st inning. Gets Ref Schneider to ground out, strikes out Trevor Story. Alex Bregman singles to right field. Bregman, of course, continues to kill the Yankees. Did it in the 9th inning. But then he gets Romy Gonzalez to ground out. So we mentioned the bottom of the 1st inning, and then Fried pitches a clean 2nd inning. Looked pretty good. Looked like he started to settle in. Then in the bottom of the 2nd inning, I don't know if I said bottom of the 2nd inning for the Red Sox. I meant top of the 2nd. But bottom of the 2nd, Ahmed Rosario, who's batting 5th tonight, grounds out. Grisham strikes out. Grisham, another Yankee that had a tough night. 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Yikes. But then Volpe comes up, puts together a nice at-bat, fouling off a couple pitches, and then he hits a ball to right field. And just like that, everybody, the Yankees are up 1-0. And you're thinking, oh my goodness, postseason Volpe. The same guy that, believe it or not, hit a grand slam in the World Series last year. With all of the complaints that everybody has had about Volpe. All of the complaints, all the criticisms. And he comes up and gets a big hit. And you thought, maybe this is the Yankees' day. And then top of the 3rd inning rolls around. Fried gets Rafaela to fly out. Nick Sogard, who we'll talk about as well, he singles, but then Fried gets Ref Schneider to fly out. And actually, we'll bring up Sogard. He tagged up and made it to second base. Ref Schneider hit a fly ball to Grisham, and Sogard and the Red Sox knew, hey, let's take a chance here. And he tagged up, and he was able to make it to second base, put a runner in scoring position. But Max Fried didn't matter to him. Strikes out Trevor Story on the next AB. Yankees go down quietly in the bottom of the 3rd. Judge, I feel like he just missed a pitch when he flew out to Jarren Duran. Just missed it for the final out of the inning. And then, Caballero and Goldschmidt in that inning, they swung at pitches that were out of the zone. One was up high above the zone. That was for Caballero. And then Goldschmidt, he strikes out on a pitch in the dirt. So those were a couple guys that you could have had on base. Two guys on, nobody out, and Judge coming up to the plate. And maybe that at bat changes. So then we go top four. Fried gets Bregman to strike out, gets Romy Gonzalez to ground out, but then he walks Narvaez. And then Nate Eaton comes up, and he hits a little bloop over Goldschmidt to right field. And now you got second and third with 2 outs. But then Fried locks in. Looked like he was losing control a little bit. Some high pitches. He was throwing the sinker, the fastball. But, they have a mound visit. Comes back down 3-0. About to walk Jarren Duran. He throws 3 straight strikes. And he gets Jarren Duran, swinging for the final out with the sweeper. So that Fried showed guts there. Showed a lot of guts. Yankees go quietly in the 4th inning. Top of the 5th comes around. More traffic on the bases. Walk to Refsnyder, walk to Trevor Story. But again, Fried gets Bregman to ground out. And then bottom of the 5th inning comes around, and the Yankees go down 1-2-3. Crochet strikes out the side. Top of the 6th inning, gets Romy Gonzalez to swing and miss. Walks Narvaez, but then he gets a clutch double play, huge double play to end the inning. Bottom 6th, nothing again. Fly out by Caballero, fly out by Goldschmidt. Judge strikes out. Top of the 7th, Aaron Boone leaves Max Fried in there to face Jarren Duran. Lefty on lefty. He gets him to ground out. Fried makes a great play. He hustles over to first base. It's a race to the bag, and Goldschmidt flips to him just in time. Duran slid to try to get the first base and be safe, but he ended up being out. It was by inches. And imagine if we had a pitcher do that. We saw a pitcher do that in the World Series last year. Not the appropriate time to bring that up, but that's where my thought process immediately went to. My thoughts went to when I saw that. And then what does Aaron Boone do? So he decides to take out Max Fried. He takes out Max Fried. So now Max Fried at that point was at 102. He was at 102. And it's so hard for me. Because on one hand, I'm thinking, let the guy finish the inning. Okay? Let him finish the inning. It's the bottom of the order. If he gives up another hit, if a guy gets on base, then you take him out. But then you're thinking, all right, the bullpen's been better as of late, at least over the this final stretch here in the regular season. I guess it's the right, and it's the bottom of the order. It's the bottom of the order you're going up against. Like, I think the Yankees reliever is more than capable of getting the bottom of the order out. But nope, that is not what happened. So they bring in Luke Weaver. And I really like Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver was a real weapon for the Yankees last year in the postseason, but he is not the pitcher he was last year. He has not been that pitcher for a while. He's been shaky. He's been inconsistent. And unfortunately, we saw the bad Luke Weaver. So immediately, after Max Fried gets taken out of the game, Rafaela comes up. And immediately he's down 0-2. So, okay. All right, things are looking good. But then foul ball. 1-2. Another foul ball. Another ball. 2-2. 2 more foul balls. And then 2 more pitches out of the zone. And Weaver ends up walking Rafaela. And then who comes up? Nick Sogard. And he hits a ball to right field. And Sogard didn't care. He's like, I'm taking second. because he was like, Judge is not 100% out there, and I thought Judge was a little lackadaisical getting to the ball as well. And Sogard makes it to second base. Instead of first or third, it's second and third with one out. And that ended up being huge because literally the next batter, first pitch, Masataka Yoshida in a pinch hit situation, pinch hitting for Ref Snyder, comes up, 2-run single, 2-1. Red Sox at that point. And you just knew the Yankees were going to lose. You knew they were going to lose. Now Fernando Cruz came in. He got Trevor Story. He did walk Bregman. And then Nathaniel Lowe comes up. And it looked like this was going to go over Judge's head, but Judge made a great play. Lowe hit it pretty good. First pitch. But Judge was able to track it down. It looked like he was going to stumble. He looked like he was going to fall. But, you know, how his legs were... The way he caught that, his legs were moving very awkwardly there. But he made the catch. And that ended the top of the seventh. But, again, at that point, you're thinking Yankees are not going to come back. And Garrett Crochet stays in there. It was 6 pitches. He threw 6 pitches in the bottom of the 7th inning. He gets Bellinger to pop out on 3 pitches. Then Stanton comes up. He grounds out on the first pitch. And then Rosario comes up. And he's done. He grounds out to third. Devin Williams comes in. He walks Narvaez. But then he gets the next 3 batters. So not a terrible performance. But another solid outing for Devin Williams besides the walk. And then we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Trent Grisham strikes out. Volpe does get a hit, so his second hit. So again, from the time that he hit the home run to the time he got a single, his second hit of the game, Yankees didn't do anything. And then Austin Wells is up there. 8-pitch at bat, all right? Called strike, foul ball. Works the count full. And then he gets a pitch, right there, right in the zone, and he just looks at it for strike 3. And that ends the inning. I don't know what he was... I really don't know what he was waiting for there. But that was... I don't know what he was looking for. That's what I meant to say. So that gets him out. And then they take out Crochet. They put in Chapman. And actually, Chapman got a disengagement violation because he kept throwing it over to first base. Volpe was being a pest. I thought Volpe was going to get picked off. But he was being a pest. Chapman forgot the new rules. And then Volpe ended up going to second. And then Caballero came up, and he hit the ball pretty good. But, it wasn't enough. I think that, right? I think that was... Actually, no. I'm thinking because there was another one that he hit, deep to center earlier in the game. But actually, no. This was the play. So this was the ball to right field. So Rafaela is going over to catch it. And then all of a sudden, Wilner Abreu comes out of nowhere. Looked like they almost collided into each other, and that could have been an absolute disaster. But Wilner Abreu makes the catch, and that ends the inning. But imagine if that happened. Volpe would be off and running, and that would have been a tie game. But no. And then 9th inning comes around. Bednar comes in for Devin Williams. He gets the first 2 outs of the inning. But then gives up a hit to Trevor Story, and they kept saying it throughout the telecast. He's coming over. He's just getting over an illness. Well, he looked fine to me. Then he stole a bag. They challenged it. I guess you just challenge it because at that point it's like you never know. But he was clearly safe. It was a very easy review. And then Alex Bregman comes up, and what does Alex Bregman do? He kills the Yankees. He hits a double down the line, down the left field line. Not exactly down the left field line, but he hits it to left field. Bellinger's got to track it down. And Trevor Story ends up scoring. They put in Tim Hill. He gets the final out. He gets Nathaniel Lowe to line out to Grisham. And then this is it. Yankees versus Chapman in the bottom of the 9th inning. Goldschmidt comes up, leads off with a single. I think that was on the 3rd pitch of the at-bat. And then Judge comes up, hits a single up the middle 100 miles an hour. So now you got two men on. Then Bellinger comes up. Had that big double against Chapman in Fenway. He hits the ball on the first pitch. A blooper to left field. Line drive to left field for a base hit. So now you got bases loaded, nobody out. And who comes up to the plate? Giancarlo Stanton. So now you got this thought in your mind that Giancarlo Stanton is going to come up and he is going to deliver like he always does in the postseason. If you thought that, you were sadly mistaken. Giancarlo Stanton ends up striking out. Fouled off a couple of pitches, but he strikes out looking for the fastball. He swings at the splitter. So Chapman gets that out. Then Jazz Chisholm comes up. So Jazz, finally comes into the game. He was a defensive replacement. He came in, I think it was what inning was it? Oh, so it was the top of the 8th inning. So, going into the 9th inning, you didn't even know if Jazz was even going to get in that bat. But he did. And he flew out. Flies out to right field. So that's 2 outs. And then Trent Grisham comes up, and you're thinking, all right, Grisham's gotten big hits for the Yankees this year. He's had a tough night. Maybe he's due. Once again, if you thought that, you were sadly mistaken. Trent Grisham ends up striking out to end the game. 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. And the Red Sox win 3-1. Yankees left 5 men on base. They were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. The only extra base hit that they got in this game was Anthony Volpe's home run. Other than that, everything else was singles. 2 singles by Goldschmidt, 2 singles by Judge, single by Bellinger, a single by Volpe, and then, he had the home run, which was the only extra base hit. Yeah. Not a good game, and as I'm recording this, the Dodgers are up 10-2, so that's going to be a sweep. Yeah, this is what I was worried about, everybody. Now, I don't think the Yankees didn't embarrass themselves in this game like they did when they lost in the World Series in Game 5. It wasn't to that extent. But there were things that you could look at in this game that made a huge difference. Again, late in the game, Sogard extending a single into a double. To the Yankees showing a lack of urgency there. First and second, nobody out. Top of the first inning, you can't scratch across a run there. The 9th inning, bases loaded, nobody out. We have seen that several times this year where the Yankees have had bases loaded, nobody out, and they don't score. And if they do score, they only get 1 run. By the way, I apologize if I'm constantly shaking. It's not an earthquake. It's just how I have the laptop set up. Again, this is an improv pod late that I'm doing. So just bear with me. But yeah, it was just missed opportunities. The Red Sox running on the Yankees, that continued. And once again, man, Alex Cora just outclasses Aaron Boone. It continues to happen. No matter how different the teams are, this Red Sox team is nowhere near the 2018 team. Doesn't hold a candle to it. And obviously because they're missing guys, too. They're missing Roman Anthony in this series. But Garrett Crochet, I think, has now taken over as the Chris Sale of the team. And he might even be better than Chris Sale. But it doesn't matter. The Red Sox, Alex Cora just runs circles around Aaron Boone. He just knows he just outmanages him. And it's tough for me because on one hand, the Yankees only scored 1 run tonight. That's not on Boone. But on the other hand, this is the problem. This is the other problem I have. Not only taking Fried out, but when Jack Curry is tweeting what the projected lineup for the Yankees is, and you see no Ben Rice, You see no Jazz Chisholm. Instead, you see Ahmed Rosario. I mean, look, Austin Wells, I get it. Okay, all right. Like the guy's a good catcher. All right, but as a hitter, I mean, it's there's Ben Rice is clearly the better hitter. But obviously, in the playoffs, closely contested game like it was tonight, you want to have your best fielders. Even though you have Rosario at second instead of Jazz tonight, Ben Rice, like, would it have been the worst thing if Ben Rice is in there? If Ben Rice is not in there, okay, that's one thing. But not that. But don't even have Jazz Chisholm in the lineup tonight. I get it. I get it. He's not good against lefties. I understand that. But that does not mean that he starts this game on the bench. This guy had a great season for the Yankees. His first full year, was an all-star. And he missed a month of the season. 30-plus homers, 30-plus stolen bases. And this guy's on the bench for Ahmed Rosario. Because Ahmed Rosario has good numbers against Garrett Crochet. Well, what did Ahmed Rosario do tonight? Nothing. So really, would it have made a difference if Jazz is playing? I'll take my chances with Jazz Chisholm. I'll do that. Because at least if you have your best lineup out there, even if the matchups don't work well, if some of the matchups aren't in your favor, you could at least say, you know what? I had my best guys out there. I went down swinging. And that's the same thing applies to if you had Max Fried get through the seventh inning. Have him go a little bit more. That's what you paid him for. But I could also see, look, you don't want something to happen long term. There's things you worry about with these guys. I mean, look at what happened to Garrett Cole. All right, he pitched till his arm fell off. I mean, his arm fell off in spring training, but he pitched his butt off last year in the postseason, despite the injuries he dealt with all year. You know, missing, what was it, 2 months, whatever. And then, he paid for it. Because then he was out for the year with Tommy John. And you don't want to lose Max Fried. And here's the other thing, too. Like, Garrett Crochet is 26. Max Fried's 31. Okay, that also matters, too. So, in a way, like, I get why Boone did that. I get it. But here's the thing, okay? This is the playoffs. Like, remember what the Cubs did with Aroldis Chapman? They pitched him into the ground in 2016. Now, a relief pitcher, I get it. But they overworked him. You lose today, there's not going to be a tomorrow. Like, you lose tomorrow, there's going to be no Thursday. Like, these games are so important. You have to show a level of urgency. Alex Cora didn't care. He's like, you know what? Yeah, keep pitching. Keep going. But yeah, I mean, Max Fried, yeah, you could say he started to lose it a little bit. But is it the worst thing in the world? He's facing the bottom of the order. See what he can do. Make him go to at least 110. Go, like, again, if he shows another crack, then you take him out. I mean, look, I know, it's like, who are you going to go to? He went to Luke Weaver. All right. No, he shouldn't have gone to Weaver. Weaver's been terrible. So who would you like for him to have put in then? Fernando Cruz? Before that? I know people don't trust Devin Williams. Well, Devin Williams pitched a clean 8th inning, other than the walk. Camilo Duvall, he's been pitching better. You want him to come in? Like, who would you have put in that spot if it's not Luke Weaver? Mark Leiter Jr.? Who? Who's coming in, not Luke Weaver, in that spot? But you know what? I just feel like if Max Fried gave up a game-tying homer in that spot, if they left him in, I guarantee you there would be people that saying, oh, they should have took Max Fried out. You could tell he was tired. Like I said this before. So Boone can't win in that spot. But this was also the problem I had in the game in Baltimore. Max Fried is at 87 pitches, and you take him out. But this is not just a Yankee problem. This is not a Boone thing. This is everywhere. This is all across baseball. There are teams that are constantly doing this. But the Red Sox didn't do it tonight. They were like, yeah, keep pitching. You're pitching well. Keep going. They wanted this game. I mean, that took the crowd out of it. I mean, once the Red Sox took the lead, that was, I mean... Yeah, I mean, the Yankees crowd was great all night. So great that ESPN had to just, silence it anytime something big would happen. I thought my TV speaker was going to explode. They got to fix that. I mean, that was I mean, Fried gets a strikeout, the double play. I mean, Volpe hits a home run. It's just every time, like, it was like I don't know what was going on with their volume levels tonight on the broadcast. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I was not happy with. Like, again, the Yankees scored 1 run. Like, yeah, I mean, would it really have made a difference? Play your guys. Play the guys that got you there. Ahmed Rosario became a Yankee in the beginning of August. Jazz Chisholm was an all-star this year. You ride or die with him. And then after the game, he can't even face the media. He doesn't even want to talk to them. He was aggravated that he wasn't in the lineup. And you know what? I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I think he said he had a conversation with Boone. But you know what? You tell the manager, I want to be in the lineup tonight. This is the playoffs. Our season could be over in 2 games. I want to be in there. But they get the final say. They get the final say. And, yeah, Yankee season could be over. Could be over by tomorrow. Brian Bayo against Carlos Rodon. You're going to see more lefties in the lineup tomorrow. You'll see Jazz in there. You'll see Ben Rice in there, I'm sure. Goldschmidt will be on the start off the game on the bench. And maybe the Yankees get something going. Maybe. Is Rodon going to come up huge? Like, I was looking at the Red Sox lineup tonight compared to the Yankees, and I'm saying the Yankees lineup is better. Yankees lineup is better. You stack up these 2 lineups against each other tonight, you're gonna say the Yankees lineup on paper is better. But you know what? The Red Sox got the big hits when they needed to. The Red Sox know how to play situational baseball. Yankees don't. The only run they had tonight was a home run. And the other thing, too, is, that was pointed out by several different people, and obviously, if you pay close attention to it, I didn't really realize it until after the game, and it was pointed out, that you had all 3 outfielders batting towards the bottom of the order. Now, Sogard was the second baseman batting last, but you had Eaton. Now, Abreu came in the game late, but you had Eaton, Duran, and Rafaela, all batting 6, 7, 8. I think they had a combined, on the season, they had a combined 34 homers. Is that correct? 33. I think 34 homers, right? So yeah, Eaton had 1. Yeah, 34 home runs. 34 home runs. Yankees outfield, Aaron Judge has 53. Trent Grisham has 34 homers. So 34 plus 53 is, hold on. 87. Okay. And then you add the other 29 by Bellinger. 116 homers. Is that right? Over 100 home runs. 116. I mean, the disparity between the 2 teams with the outfield is, it's incredible. Wow. That really hurt to watch. That hurt. But there is a tomorrow. And as Yogi Berra once said, it ain't over till it's over. But I think Yogi might be saying from beyond the world here is yeah, it might be over. It might be over. It might. I hope not. I hope not because there were things I wanted to see from a potential postseason run with this team, particularly the captain, Aaron Judge having a big postseason. And Judge is not the reason they lost this game. Now you could say, well, he didn't get the ball in quickly enough or quick enough. The second, Sogard took advantage of that. But, Judge had a couple of hits in this game. Got on base, gave the other guys in the lineup the opportunity to drive them in. And the Yankees just couldn't deliver. And also the other thing, too, not that it really would have made a huge difference, but another thing I was saying, too, is after Judge gets the single off of Chapman in the ninth inning after Goldschmidt got on, why wasn't Goldschmidt taken out and they put in, Dominguez or someone to pinch run for him? I thought that was a little odd. You could have put in Ben. I guess my thought process would be you put in Dominguez and then you put Ben Rice in to play first base, and they didn't do that because Jazz had that fly ball. Or Bellinger. Bellinger the single after that. If Dominguez is on, maybe they send him and he ends up scoring. And then it's 3-2. But again, it really didn't matter. That insurance run in the ninth inning was gigantic. But it really didn't matter because even if it was still 2-1 going into the ninth inning, the Yankees would have had bases loaded, nobody out, and they wouldn't have scored. If you're a team that can't score when you get the bases loaded, nobody out. If you're a team that cannot score, you don't deserve to win the game. You don't. You don't deserve it at all. And the Yankees didn't deserve it. They lost. The better team won tonight. The team that knows how to play that knows how to play the fundamentals. You hear that the basic fundamentals. The team that is better disciplined. Got the better manager. That said, I'm letting my guy pitch till he can't anymore. And here's the thing. Red Sox used one reliever tonight. One. Because of Crochet helped the Red Sox in many ways. Not by just winning this game, but going so deep into this game that they only used Chapman, and Chapman left-handed reliever. They only used one lefty. Red Sox got a couple more lefties in that pen that they could throw at him, and they didn't even use Garrett Whitlock tonight. So now he's available. And if this game goes beyond tomorrow, well, we don't know what the Game 3 starter is going to be for the Red Sox. So they're going to need the bullpen if they don't have a third starter listed. If they got to go bullpen all the way. And it's kind of on a level playing field because the Yankees could have a pitcher making his first career postseason start in Cam Schlittler, who literally just came up a couple months ago. So Red Sox are in very good shape tomorrow because the Yankees used basically their entire bullpen tonight. 5 relievers. Red Sox only used 1. They're in great shape. That's why it is very important that the Yankees, they get to Bayo early and they get to Bayo often. Because I don't know what Carlos Rodon we could see tomorrow. Is it going to be the one that was all amped up against the Royals in Game 1 of the Division Series and then he just completely lost it? Ran out of gas very quickly and then the game unraveled and they end up losing? Or are we going to see the Carlos Rodon that we saw in the Championship Series against the Guardians? Are we going to see that Rodon? Now I'm talking about strictly the postseason. Rodon was awesome this year. Won 18 games. Really came into his own. He's got to earn his pinstripes tomorrow. Once again. And he's got to step up. Because the Yankees, as cliche as it sounds, they got their backs against the wall tomorrow. And there's going to be no Thursday if they don't win tomorrow. And how quick and how, I'm trying to think of the word. What a letdown. What a letdown it would be if the season ends like this. But that's what happens when you end up in the wild card. Your season can be over just like this. Ask the team across town when they played in the wild card in 2022. They went to 3 games, but it happens. Your season's over in 2 games. The Yankees' season has been over in 1 game in years past, 2015, 2021. That's why it was very important to win their division. If the Yankees didn't go on that, what was it? 20-31 game stretch record where they, those 51 games, 20-31. If they could have won 1 more game against the Rockies, they didn't collapse against the Marlins. They lost the game to the Pirates also. If you would have won at least one, if you would have played better against the AL East, you could have been the Blue Jays. Sitting back, put your feet up, and relax. And see who you end up playing on Saturday. No, instead, you blew a 7-game lead, and guess what? You're 1 game away from being eliminated. And I said this. Look, I agree. The Yankees play up to their potential. They could beat anybody. But at the same time, they could lose to anybody. That's just the kind of team that they are. And going in, I liked the momentum they were coming in with. Judge hitting the ball well. The rotation. The bullpen looked better. But obviously wasn't tonight. But at the same time, they beat up on bad teams. They beat up on the White Sox. They beat up on the Orioles. And they're coming in winning 8 straight. It did bother me a bit that they were coming in maybe a little too hot. Because, you're winning 8 straight coming into the postseason in a series like this. You're due to lose at some point. And it just happened to be tonight, which was the biggest game of the year so far. And you only managed to put up 1 run. Against the pitcher, look, you know who Garrett Crochet could be? I know he said Chris Sale. You know who he's going to end up being? He is going to be Cliff Lee if Cliff Lee was pitching in the AL East. That's who he is. Because he dominated the Yankees this year. Went 4-0 against them. He owned them. And you know what? He's going to own this team for a long time. What a pickup he was for the Red Sox. What a pickup. And if the Red Sox make some more moves, and, obviously Roman Anthony comes back healthy, you get Tristan Casas back. Because that's the other thing, too. Not only are you missing Roman Anthony, you're missing Tristan Casas. Nathaniel Lowe, give him a ton of credit for picking him up. Because he was doing nothing in Washington. He gets DFA'd. They pick him up. This is a guy that won a World Series with the Rangers not too long ago. He's not a bad player. And he came to the Red Sox, and he mashed. And he didn't really play tonight because of the lefty matchup. So he's going to be in the lineup. Actually, no. Is he going to be in the? He might be in the lineup tomorrow because they're going to be facing another lefty. Yankees are going to be facing Bay, who's a righty, so they're going to have all their lefties in. We'll see what Cora does tomorrow. But yeah, this Red Sox team. You make some more moves. Alex Bregman, what a signing he was. Just imagine if Devers and the Red Sox were able to mend their relationship. Well, Red Sox fans don't really care about that because Devers is home right now. They're in the postseason. And this is after they swept the Yankees and they traded Devers, I'm saying, what are they doing? Are they just punting on the season? Is a punt move? The only punting they may be doing is punting the Yankees out of the playoffs. That might be what they're doing. That might be the punt move, is punting the Yankees out of the playoffs. But again, I think a lot of credit goes to the manager. Obviously the players and being able to execute. But I really just think that Alex Cora is one of those managers that he owns Aaron Boone. Owns Aaron Boone. No matter what year it is. No matter what year it is. 2018, I mean, look, 2021 is one thing. But 2018, I mean, the Red Sox were an absolute juggernaut. I mean, that Yankees team won 100 games. But it didn't matter, man. It just didn't matter. It doesn't matter what year it is. I mean, look, I think this Yankees team on paper is more talented than the Red Sox. But when you got a manager like Alex Cora and you're putting up against Aaron Boone, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because you had one manager that said, go the distance. Not exactly go the distance, but keep going to their starter. You had another manager that said, all right, this is the lane where we take him out. And then you end up losing the game. And nobody's going to say, well, the Yankees scored one run, that's why they lost. No, it's going to be all on Boone. And I do think Boone is part of the problem for tonight's loss. I know there's some people saying it's not. I actually do. I think it's him and the organization and just the philosophy. We're going to take our starter out, barely over 100 pitches. We're not going to play our best players. You deserve to lose the game. Go down with the ship. Go down with the guys that have gotten you there all year. And they didn't do that tonight. And the lineup didn't hit against good pitching. Good pitching always beats good hitting. And I've seen it so many times with the Yankees over the years. So many times. They get to the playoffs, against the Tigers in the 2010s. They face Verlander. They face Scherzer. They can't hit either of them. Doug Fister. Who else? I mean, the Rangers, C.J. Wilson. Who else was in that rotation? Oh, man. Who else was in that 2010 or 2000? Yeah, no, that was 2010. Who was in the 2010 Rangers rotation? You had C.J. Wilson, Colby Lewis, Derek Holland. I got to go back and look at who the Yankees had a problem with. But, anyways, so there's that. Then, of course, you have Dallas Keuchel. Well, you got Verlander again with Houston and the Baby Bombers. So he terrorized the Baby Bombers and he terrorized the back end of the Core 4 tenure. Charlie Morton, Chris Sale, Nathan Eovaldi, Tyler Glasnow. I'm just naming pitchers. Well, you could say Cliff Lee, even though the Yankees won the World Series in 2009. But yeah, Cliff Lee. We'll throw Cliff Lee in there. Who else? The Yankees hit David Price in 2018. I literally watched the highlights of the 2018 Division Series and the Wild Card game. But yeah, Eovaldi. Obviously I said Eovaldi. Jack Flaherty, Walker Buehler last year. Yeah, all right. I'm going to stop naming pitchers that have tormented the Yankees over the years. But I'm just saying, like they go up against good pitching, they don't hit. They don't hit. Like last year, look, yeah, they did hit. They did hit, when they had to. Stan got the big hits last year. He didn't get a big hit tonight. You know what? It's not always going to happen. It's not always going to happen. Stan's not always going to deliver. All right? He did it time and time again last year. In every single series, the Royals series, he hit that home run late in the 8th inning. I think it was in Game 3. He hit all those home runs against the Guardians. I mean, he hit the home run against the Dodgers to put them up 2-1. We know what happened after that. But, Stanton was a one-man wrecking crew. He's not going to do it every time, people. He's a human. Of course he wanted to deliver. Now, I'm not going to sit here and get on Stanton because you know what? Again, he had last year. 2021, it was him and Judge. Guys come up big time and time again. Somebody else has to come up and get a big hit. And that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Volpe, all the credit in the world. Was so happy that Volpe did that. And I came to his defense when everybody was ripping on him earlier this season, and then it just got so bad that I'm like, all right, I can't really defend him at this point. But Volpe got things started off, and nobody else could tack on. Nobody. It's just... But also, again, it doesn't help when you don't have your best lineup out there. That was not their best lineup. Grisham was out there because you can't start Dominguez. Austin Slater's not even on the roster. Why couldn't you put in Jazz Chisholm then? If you put Caballero or Rosario at third base, I understand that for McMahon because McMahon really hasn't hit. I didn't even mention Ryan McMahon. I can't. It's aggravating. How do you sit Jazz Chisholm? How do you do that in a playoff series? It makes no sense. I don't care about the numbers. I don't. When it comes to the playoffs, I don't care. Put your best lineup in there. And again, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you at least tried. But it's more of the same. Here's another stat for you, courtesy of Katie Sharp, who does a great job with the messages on X. I actually said X finally instead of Twitter. So, do you want to know? I mean, you probably do. What is the Yankees? Take a guess at what the Yankees' record against the Red Sox in their last 10 postseason games. Take a guess. You want to guess? I'll give you a little bit. Okay. So, if you guessed correctly, you would have said the Yankees in their last 10 games, in the last 10 postseason games against the Red Sox, they're 1-9. 1-9. That's it. And that's going all the way back to 2004. they blew a 3-0 lead. I got to tell you, I say this over and over again. I am so happy. I am so happy that I didn't watch baseball back then. That I was 4 years old. That I couldn't comprehend what was going on. Because if I had to sit through that, that would have taken the cake. Forget last year. Nothing's ever topping that. It bothers me, and I don't even remember any of it. But guess what? They got a documentary on Netflix. They got another documentary coming out on the 04 team. They're profiting off of this thing still. But who could blame them? Who could blame them? It's iconic. It's the greatest comeback in sports history. Boston teams have a habit of doing that. They have a habit of doing that. In all facets. Now the Celtics didn't complete that comeback against the Heat, but hey, they won the chip. They won the chip the following year. Right? Was it the following year? Either way, they won a chip. And they got a bunch of championships. The Celtics. And Boston in general has a bunch of championships. But yeah, that comeback. And then of course you had 28-3. It's a good sports town. Give them credit. Give them a ton of credit. But yeah, so anyways, 1-9 against the Red Sox in the last 10 games. The only game that they have won was Game 2 of the Division Series in 2018. That was back when Gary Sanchez was still on the team. Yankees had Andrew McCutchen. Yeah. And then what happened the following game? 16-1 happened in the Bronx. Judge with the boombox, going back to New York, blasting New York, walking out of Fenway, and 16-1 happened. Oh, man. 6 of the 9 losses are by 2 runs or fewer. Because, yeah, after 16-1, they lost the final game, I think it was, 4-3? And then game 1 of that series, I think, was also 5-4. And then the wild card game, I think, what was the final score of that game? That was like 6-2. So, yeah, that was more than 3. But, yeah, In '04, they the walk off, a couple of walk offs in that series, and then you had tonight the latest playoff loss to the Red Sox, the latest one. Listen, the Red Sox own the Yankees. I mean, if you in recent years, even if you want to look at the overall, you want to look at the big picture. Since that '04 collapse, I mean, this rivalry has taken a turn in the Red Sox favor. Because the Red Sox, I mean, yeah, you could say, oh, well, they finished in last place, they're irrelevant. But there are years where they just come out of nowhere and they win the World Series. They win in '04, they win in '07, they win in 2013, they win in 2018. And I'll bet you, within the next 5 years, they might be holding up another trophy. I'll bet you that they do that. If they play their cards right. Because now they have to. All right? You traded Devers, you traded Mookie, you let Xander Bogaerts walk, Benintendi, JD Martinez, all those guys are gone. Chris Sale's gone. That 2018 team is gone. The only member remaining is Alex Cora. I think that's it. Right? I don't think there's anybody from that 2018 team that's on the team now. I think the last one was Devers. I mean, I could see it. I could see it happening. If they play their cards right, they got young players. They got the ace. And look at Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman's having his best year ever. But yeah, this rivalry, I mean, the big picture rivalry is taking the turn. I mean, there's been years the Yankees have owned the Red Sox, and in this decade here, in the 2020s. But I mean, since 2004, big picture. Yankees won in 2009. I get it. But the Red Sox, they're above the Yankees. And actually, another thing I want to bring up too, as we've now moved into tomorrow, October 1st. Happy October 1st, everybody. Halloween is this month. It's a very scary month for Yankee fans, thinking of last year. Could be a scary day today. Something that really aggravated me, and I wasn't aware of this until I watched Mike Francesa, is that the Yankees put restrictions on ticket sales, depending on where you were buying your tickets for this game, so Red Sox fans couldn't get to the game. If you did not have a zip code from Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, and was there another state, or was it just those three? Hold on. Actually, I have a post of it. Give me 1 second. All right. So yeah, restricting ticket sales. So this is what it said. It said Yankee Stadium, located in Bronx, New York, obviously. Sales to this event will be restricted to residents of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. Residency will be, all right, and of course ads keep popping up. Residency will be based on credit card billing address. Orders by residents outside New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania will be canceled without notice and refunds given. So listen, you heard the Red Sox fans. They were there tonight. They still showed out, and there was other avenues that you could have done to work around this. So Red Sox fans will get in the stadium regardless. But the fact that there is even any kind of restrictions is, I can't believe that. This is the level you stoop to. This is the level you stoop to, that you have, because how badly the Red Sox beat up on the Yankees this year, and how you would be ashamed if they come into Yankee Stadium and they knock the Yankees out, and then you got a sea of red all over the place. Because you're afraid of that, you're like, well, we're gonna make sure that doesn't happen. We're gonna make sure they don't get in. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You can't do that. You can't do that. Listen, again, this is coming from a Yankee fan who has grown up with this team. That's part of the game. That is part of the game. You cannot restrict fans from the opposing team to get into the stadium. You can't do that. And then also, what about your fans that are from Massachusetts? That are not from any of these states that want to go to this game? Like that, I mean, that is unbelievable. I'm ashamed. That's the only word I can think of is ashamed. I am ashamed that this is what it's come to. Well, guess what? If the Yankees lose tomorrow, those restrictions aren't going to help you because the Red Sox fans are going to take over the stadium. Just like they did in 2004, just like they did in 2018, they are going to do it again if the Yankees lose tomorrow. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. I really am. I mean, you can't do that. Okay? Listen, I've been to football games. I've been to Yankee games. Okay? Well, more so football games this applies to because MetLife is not the best home field advantage. Although it was great when I went on Sunday and the Giants got the win. I've seen MetLife Stadium get completely taken over by Cowboy fans, by Chief fans, by Packer fans. Like, it happens. Well, I mean, more so like with that, because again, MetLife Stadium is not great for home field advantage. Yankee Stadium is great for home field advantage. All right, yeah. So you get some Red Sox fans coming into the stadium, but the vast majority of fans in the stands are going to be rooting for the Yankees, for your team. Yankee fans are going to make sure that the Red Sox fans don't completely take over the stadium. All right, it's not going to happen. And it's going to be like, it's going to be Fenway Park in the Bronx. It's not. I mean, again, if the Yankees go down early tomorrow and they're getting blown out and the fans start filing out early, then yeah, it's going to be Fenway Park in the Bronx. But I mean, from the beginning of the game, from the first pitch, it's not going to be. It's going to be Yankee fans. I mean, all right. I mean, if it's a Subway Series World Series, then I can understand because obviously, there's. It's New York. But how are you going to restrict people that live in New York? How are you going to filter out the Met fans? You can't. All right, you can't. That's impossible. But it's just any kind of filter. You can't. You just cannot do that. You cannot do that. You can't. But yeah, that just when I heard that, I couldn't believe. I had to look it up myself. It's like, is that true? And sure enough, it is. But like I said, Red Sox fans were able to get it regardless. So Red Sox fans, don't. If you're a Red Sox fan and you're watching this, don't say I don't defend you. All right. Wow. And we went over an hour. How about that? Yeah, I had a lot to get off my chest, but this was just an ugly loss. I mean, it's a typical Yankee playoff loss. That's really what it is. Typical Yankee playoff loss. Can't get the big hit. Bullpen blows it. Alex Bregman gets a big hit. I mean, you thought for a moment that Aroldis Chapman was going to turn back into Aroldis Chapman, the bad Aroldis Chapman, like he was at certain points in his Yankee career, the Brasso homer, the Altuve homer. But no, bases loaded, nobody out, he locked in. I guarantee you, if he was in that same exact spot and he was pitching for the Yankees, he would have gave up runs. He would have 100% given up runs. I agree with that. 100%. He would have gave up runs. But Chapman, I mean, listen, Aroldis Chapman, first, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, what he's doing, the resume that he's put together, two-time World Series champ. Don't forget, he won with the Rangers, too. I mean, I talked about the Cubs earlier. He won with the Rangers also. I mean, he's unbelievable, and he's still doing it. Getting up there in age, but he is still cranking 100 miles an hour. Still doing it. Props to him. Really. And you know what? He was at one point, he was a very good Yankee. at one point. But then it just got to a point. I mean, the Altuve homer, the Brasso homer, and then that whole thing in 2022 where he just quit on the team, and he was left off the playoff roster and just left. It ended very badly with the Yankees. But you know what? There were some good times in there. There was. I mean, that 2017 run. Yeah. I had to go back and watch Didi Gregorius' 3-run homer in the top of the first inning to feel something, to feel some joy. That's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. Because that Yankees don't fare well in these wild card games, man. They just don't. They won in 2017 when I was there. They won in 2018 the year after. But I mean, before and after that, you had the Red Sox and you had the Keuchel shutout. Yeah, now you're looking at wild card series, and it's just it might be a quick exit this year, and it's amazing because you come in with these. But I said it, I said it. I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I said it to my friends. I said it to my parents. I feel like they're getting us excited just to let us down again, and that is the point that we are at right now. That's why I didn't want to come in with all this confidence. Like, yeah, we got this. This is gonna be easy. I mean, well, it's not never easy. But yeah, this is the reality, and most people should have realized that bullpen, although was pitching better, still not great. Still don't really trust anybody in the bullpen, outside of maybe a couple of guys. I mean, I said Bednar, but even he gave up a run tonight. And the Yankees don't hit Garrett Crochet. They don't win when Garrett Crochet pitches. They put up 7 runs against him over the summer. They lose 11-7. Or whatever the final score was in that game. I don't remember. But they did put up a lot of runs. Austin Wells hit a 3-run homer in that game. Then you hit 3 homers against him a couple weeks ago. But you still lose. And then here, Anthony Volpe has a great postseason game, and just nothing. He mows the Yankees down. More strikeouts. This team just strikes out so much. You got to stop. I mean, you got to cut it down. But yeah, so the Yankee season could be over, and listen. I think the rotation, again, is going to be awesome next year. But you got to fix the bullpen, and there's got to be some kind of tinkering with this lineup. Some kind of tinkering. Because you need, I see it with guys, I see it with Jazz, I see it with Bellinger. I mean, Jazz sometimes is always just swinging for the fences. But we need more guys that, station to station, we need guys that are base runners, we need guys that... We play more small ball, is what I'm trying to say. And how many times have we said that? Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. And it's just, I mean, back in the day, and Cameron Maben tweeted about this too. What happened to the days where you just send out your best lineup? No matter what. No matter what the numbers are, no matter who the splits, this guy's good against lefties but bad against righties, bad against righties, good against lefties. It doesn't matter. You put your best lineup out there. And the Yankees did not do that tonight. And that is part of the reason that they lost this game. Even though maybe you could say it wouldn't have made a difference. That's why it's just it's a problem I have with the current state of baseball. Also, I can't wait for OBS. OBS. That's the software I'm using. I can't wait for ABS. ABS. Not the software OBS. ABS. I can't wait for that. Even though it would have burned the Yankees on some non-calls tonight, I just can't wait for that. That is really going to help this game out tremendously next year. It really is. All right. I think I covered everything. I think we covered everything pretty much. This game was it was tough to watch. It stressed me out. Again, if the Yankees lose tomorrow, it'll be better for my overall health, honestly. All right, and I try to be I try to be level-headed. I don't want to be biased. I don't want to come on here and and be the ultimate Yankee fan, which I guess it kind of came off its that. I mean, I talked for over an hour. All right, but I try to be in the middle here. All right, Garrett Crochet pitched a great game. Alex Cora outmanaged Aaron Boone. Red Sox got the timely hits. They were the better team in Game 1. They were the better team in the late innings of this game. And I told you, and I said that's what was going to happen. It's going to be a tight game. Might come down to the bullpens. Really just came down to Garrett Crochet and Chapman getting it done, and Yankees bullpen faltering like it has many times this year. So, if the Red Sox win this series, I'm not going to be surprised because the Red Sox own the Yankees this year, and the Red Sox have owned the Yankees for a long time now. If they continue to build up this roster, this team is going to be a force. I really do believe that. And the Yankees, if they lose in 2 games, there's going to be a lot of questions this offseason. A lot. Because Judge is only getting older. Stanton is only getting older. Garrett Cole's going to come back, but he's getting older. What's going to happen with this bullpen? Who's coming back and who's leaving? Bellinger going to opt out. They're going to bring back Grisham. What's gonna happen with shortstop, third base, catcher? I mean, there is a lot of question marks going into the offseason. And hopefully they could hold it off, and we don't have to answer those questions until such time. But it could be these questions could be asked sooner than we think. They lose tomorrow. Well, now today, as we move into October, like I said. So, okay, I think that's it. For the 3rd time, I've probably said it. I think that's it. I think we got everything. Yankees lose, Red Sox win. Dodgers are going to win. Tigers won. And the Cubs won. Actually, the Dodgers won. They won 10-5. Yeah, they're going to win tomorrow. I actually wanted to bring up the Guardians very quickly. So, they were losing 2-1. Great pitching matchup. By the way, in that game. Jose Ramirez gets to 3rd on the throwing error. Javier Baez makes a great play at short, throws it to first base, it gets away. Ramirez ends up on 3rd base. He ends up getting out because there was a little tapper back to the pitcher's mound, and he ended up getting caught, and they ended up taking him out. So they end up losing, and Tigers win Game 1 there. So, yeah, the Dodgers are up 1-0, Cubs are up 1-0, Tigers up 1-0, and the Red Sox are up 1-0. So we'll see. Any of these series going to go to 3 games? We'll see. We'll find out. Another quick thing. So the Giants let go of Bob Melvin, their manager, and Bruce Bochy is not going to return to the Rangers next year. Now, Buster Posey is the GM of the Giants. So, kind of makes me think that we could maybe be seeing a Bruce Bochy San Francisco Giants reunion. I think it only makes sense. That's what I think. All right, that's a non-Yankee stuff. But let me know what you guys think about this game from tonight. Again, this was a little, I don't usually do this. I wait till tomorrow, but I couldn't wait. I wanted to. Well, now it is tomorrow. So, as we reach the end here. But yeah, don't worry. This is not going to be a regular thing. Okay. I mean, I might do this again tomorrow, depending on how I'm feeling, depending on what the game. I mean, if it's another loss, I mean, you could get an immediate reaction. But yeah, hope you like the at least I hope you like the basement. You like the basement. You like Rocky. You like the Yankees. You like the snake tank in the background. That snake actually has escaped a couple times. That snake has run rampant in this basement a couple times. Well, really, that's my laundry room actually. It's kind of like a drive-through. This little this thing here, this tank. It's like a drive-through window. You get to see a snake. We got snakes, we got turtles, we got a dog, we got everything. We got all kinds of animals here. Uh, we're a petting zoo. That's what that's what this house is. But yeah. So I hope you like the. At least I hope you like the basement. Hopefully you like the aesthetic. Right? Is that the right word to use? The aesthetic of the basement. But yeah, no. Rest assured, we'll be back in my normal spot recording. The camera will be better. It won't be the laptop camera. It'll be the regular video camera that I use, and the USB mic that I usually use. So hopefully, but let me know what you guys think. About you like this, and yeah, let me know what you guys think about the game. Game 1. What were your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. As always, everybody, as I always say, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the video, to the channel. Greatly appreciated. Really would. Just help me out. Also, make sure to leave a like, comment. I had said that already. Make sure to follow us on the social media platforms in the description below. And wherever you get your podcasts, you can always listen to us as well. Just look us up, Infinite Sports. You'll find us there. You can listen to us. Well, really me. There are the episodes of Ben sprinkled in. We had my friend Dami on as well. But that was before the NFL season. Gonna have to do some stuff with them soon. Also with basketball season around the corner. Knicks are gonna be coming back. So we'll have some videos on that. But yeah, that's it from me. So as always, everybody, I'm your host, Kenneth Grunfelder, signing off. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.